To deprive my generation that we do not support. Since 2016, at least 2 million more young people like me have reached voting age. We are engaged, we are interested, and we will be the generation most severely affected by Brexit.
You're obviously trying to give your viewers the idea that England and Scotland are two different places.
Yes, it is important to actually explain that because people, they think, of course, of what the United Kingdom is, but we need to explain what is going on here and know that, there's a different position towards Brexit here in Scotland.
You see, there's so many people in England who don't realise that. It's a very different country, this place. It's a different kind of way of being. And it's to do with our history and the way that people have been brought up, and to do with the famines that happen. I mean, it's absolutely important that people understand. And we want to be in Europe. We don't want this business of Brexit. And
yes, this is what we've heard from people when we've asked them what they think about what is going on. And I see and I heard a lot of very hopeful people expecting that independence will open the door to the European Union once again. It's like a suspended, like they're being part of the European Union is like being suspended until you get that independence. But I've been I'm quite surprised about. All this unity, that we can see from all the people here, everyone who has been here in front of the
Have you experienced any of the marches that have been going on? I mean, the huge marches. Hundreds of thousands of people gather on a Saturday and march through Glasgow or Edinburgh.
I've seen some of those, but this is the first time that I'm here in Scotland, so this is the time that I'm covering this. So it's quite, it's different from seeing it on TV and now being here and listening to what people have to say and about their views.
All right, Helen, Hoffa, please, you've got an amazing thing that you're arranging for this evening on this sad Brexit exit day. Tell us about it, please.
So at 11, we're removing one of the 28 bowls that are currently floating with their own lights inside them from this pond and move it to its own separate pond further down. And we're going to be using the spirit of Europe, the little flame that burns inside, and we're going to pass the one that came from the UK bowl back up here, and we're going to transfer it to the Scotland bowl behind me. And I hope that will leave all of us with a little bit of hope, a little bit of spirit. I know today was a depressing day for various reasons for a lot of people, and I think we need to concentrate on doing what we can. And look at the turnout. We are doing what we can. It's amazing. So thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. And I hope that we can give Scotland some hope.
I just love the stars. I think that's wonderful. Thank you. Lorna Slater, co-leader of the Green Party in Scotland. So we've come to this impasse with the Brexit, and it seems we've got to come out of the European Union. What do you think of that?
I think it's a really, really sad day. I remember the day when I was a teenager, when I found out that I was eligible for a British passport, and that would allow me to live and work and study in any country in Europe. And it felt to me like it was the golden ticket to a future full of exciting possibilities. And it's so sad to me that our young people will not get those chances and will not have those opportunities. Today is a tragic day to me.
I suppose there are quite a number of people who don't travel still, and maybe they don't understand that.
I think that's absolutely true, but I don't think that that's just what the European Union means. The primary aim of the European Union is of peace, and we are all children of the long peace. We have so long forgotten what it's like to have war on our own doorstep, that our own government is turning away unaccompanied children refugees. This is the horrendous situation that we find ourselves in. And our own neighbours and friends and colleagues, our EU citizens are now going to be subject to Westminster's hostile environment and made to feel unwelcome here. This is not the country that I want to live in.
Don't you find it a little bit ironic that in the 75th year in Auschwitz and the anniversary of the Holocaust, just in this week, and this comes just now?
And here we are abandoning other children to violence and uncertainty. Absolutely.
I don't know what to say about it, because for me it's a very distressing day. I can't put words to it, having had the privilege of travelling all around these different places. So I know that Nicola Sturgeon made a speech this morning, I watched it, and the Green Party obviously for independence of Scotland. What do you think the rundown to that is now?
So we have today launched our Green Yes campaign, and this is about talking to the people of Scotland and setting out what a green vision for an independent Scotland rejoining the EU is. I think we have to do better. I'm delighted that the polls today showed 51% support for independence, but we have to do better. We need to get that support to 60%, 65%, and we do that by making sure we spell out what the advantages are of being an independent country, and there are so many.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't think people should be looking down on you. I think they should see why is this?
I'm really proud to be here.
And we're here because it's the end of the UK's business with the European Union this evening.
I know,
There's a candlelight vigil outside the Holyrood.
And I couldn't be more unhappy about our decision. We are where we are, so Scotland has to strive, and Scotland has to go forward and do the best that it can do in the coming years.
What were the things that you liked about the European Union?
Things I liked about it, a sense of security, a big sense of security, a big sense of community. After World War II, 56 years old I am, so I just missed it. But post-World War II, it was one of the most important decisions we ever made. And here we are saying goodbye to that security. That frightens me.
That's to make you cheerful, isn't it?
No, I'm not cheerful about that. I'm happy that I'm in Scotland right now, an English woman in Scotland. I'm very happy I'm here. We go forward with Nicola to strive for independence.
You're very welcome here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Lovely.
welcome. Goodbye. Thank you.
It's very emotionally charged, isn't it?
My name's Russell, yeah.
And where are you from?
I live in Tranent, just a wee bit out of Edinburgh, yeah. I'm about Glasgow and Ayr. I'm a good Scotsman.
Okay. And what do you think about us all leaving the European Union?
Well, we are a European country, and it's just so sad because right the way through Scots history, Europe, we're part of Europe. We are absolutely part of Europe. Yeah, I just think we're an irrelevance to England, you know, and we're more important. People in Brussels think we're more important than people in Westminster, quite frankly.
So this temporary aberration that's going on here, we're not too worried about that. This is not a wake. This is not something to be sad about. We're actually, what we should be proud of is the movement that we've built across the UK, but particularly in Scotland. We're very grateful to the Yes Hub here, who worked hard to put together the event earlier. But we also want to reach out to all sections of the Scottish community who realise that Scotland is a European nation. You know what? They're going to try and take this away from us. They're going to try and take it away. After 11 o'clock tonight, we'll still be as European as we were at 10:59, and there's nothing they can do about it. This is So I want this tonight to be an act of defiance. An act of defiance to what's going on in this country, particularly in Scotland, where the vast majority of people want us to stay in the European Union. I myself, as you might have picked up from the accent, I'm Irish. Now leaving aside peace, leaving aside prosperity, the great service that Europe has done is give us a European citizenship So I come to Scotland, and this is my country. And no matter what Boris Johnson tells me about, that I think it's my country, this is my country. And it belongs to all of the Europeans that have come here over the last 40 years. And you know, it's reciprocal as well. I was just in France, and as a European, the Alps belong to us, the beaches of Spain, thank goodness, belong to us. We need them in Scotland. Paris, Budapest, Austria, Vienna, Berlin. As Europeans, these are all our home, and they all belong to us. So thank you very much for coming along. We've got a few speeches now. We're going to have some music in a bit. We've got some speeches, and particularly we've got some young Europeans coming. Speaking now is Lorna Slater. She's the co-leader of the Scottish Greens, and she's going to speak for a few minutes and tell us why Scotland, being in Europe, is important to her. Give her a big welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming out tonight. I feel so much better after having a bit of a sing-song because I've been feeling very sad all day. I've been feeling really sad all day, so thank you for the bit of a sing-song. Here's me holding up my candle, asking Europe to keep the light on for Scotland. I remember when I was a teenager, and I found out that I could apply for a British passport that would allow me to live, work, and study in any country in Europe. How excited I was. How that passport, when it arrived, felt like the golden ticket to a future of endless, exciting possibilities. How sad I am on this day that for all of us, but particularly for our young people, the world has grown that little bit smaller, the possibilities fewer. Brexit is part of a trajectory that the world is currently heading down, where newspapers owned by billionaires stir up fear of foreigners, fear of trans people. They want us afraid and divided. They will try and manipulate our fears to give them ever more power with ever less scrutiny and accountability. Now we are at a place where America is keeping immigrant children in concentration camps, where virtually no one in real positions of power acknowledge the significance of the changes that are coming our way due to the climate catastrophe, where the Prime Minister of the UK tried to illegally prorogue Parliament and continues to ignore all requests by Scotland for anything that will mitigate Brexit's awful impact on us. So yes, Brexit Day is deeply sad because it is part of a wider tragedy. Today, the UK is stepping away from an organisation of 27 democratic countries dedicated to peace, prosperity, and human rights. But its primary aim was peace, and it has succeeded. We are all children of the long peace, and our government has so forgotten the horrors of war that they are even refusing to allow lone children who are escaping war to come to this country for protection. The big countries of this world may be nothing but sources of bad news just now. All the good news is coming from small countries. Costa Rica has abolished its military. No Costa Rican mother will ever now have to worry that her child will be sent to war. New Zealand is looking at basing its economic planning on a well-being model rather than GDP. It has stopped investment in oil exploration. Finland has a government led by young women, defending diversity and young people. Sweden has hit its target of zero carbon domestic heating throughout the country. There is no reason why an independent Scotland can't join them in being a beacon of light for a different future. Let us recognize that the UK has failed and seek to create something different. That is why the Scottish Greens today launch our own Green Yes campaign. We recognize that this dark day is not just about mourning what is lost, but about building something new, about regaining what has been taken from us today.
Thank you very much, Lorna. Give her a big round of applause, please.
Well done, Lorna. Well done. You know, I can hear in Lorna's accent there that I don't think she's a local either. And I think it's a great credit to Scotland that it's such a welcoming country. So as a new Scot myself, or rather old Scot, thank you to you all. Scotland very much fits in with the values of Europe. Tolerance, openness, working together in a troubled world. And that light that we're leaving on tonight, Scotland has been a beacon in the UK debate on Brexit. Let's not forget our friends down south of the border who look up here and wish that they had leaders like we have up here, the political leadership that has shown such maturity and tolerance in relation to the European debate. So let's give them a big round of applause, please, outside the Parliament. Okay, our next speaker is another new European. He's from Portugal. He's a writer. He's a painter. I say new European. He's a new Scot. It's W.G. Saraban. So please give him a big welcome.
Hello, Edinburgh. I didn't prepare a statement because tonight is quite an emotional night, and I wanted to speak from the heart as a fellow EU citizen who stands in this weird place where from 11 p.m. I will be one of the few EU citizens here by virtue of my Portuguese passport. But it doesn't matter because everyone here will remain a European just like me, and everyone here is a Scot no matter where they come from and where they're going. And I was born in an independent country, and it's by no means a cure to all problems. Believe me, Portugal has its fair share. The thing is, being an independent country in Europe means that not only you're facing your challenges together with other democratic nations, you also have the full tools of independence at your disposal to tackle your own problems. If Scotland stays tied to this United Kingdom, the few tools that we have will keep being taken away from us, beginning with the Parliament on which we stand. It's under threat by the Tories. Devolution is under attack, and we need to protect this devolution because it's our shield for our EU citizens in Scotland, for every Scottish man, for every Scottish person. Let me just finish with a heartfelt thank you to Scotland, because Brexit has been in no way just short of being mental as an EU citizen here. It's been absolutely madness, but Scotland has been behind my back all the way, so has the Scottish government and the Scottish people. And for that, I will always fight for Scotland's better future as well. Thank you very much, Scotland.
Thank you very much there. A heartfelt thank you there from our Portuguese and now Scottish friend. Okay, one of the most important things in this debate, as you know, is that the young people are being let down by certain members of the elder community who have voted in favour of Brexit. So tonight we've got a speaker, a young speaker, who's going to talk about his experience in Fight for Europe. It's Dominic McKinley. He's a young fella, so please give him a big, big round of applause.
Hello everyone. As a token young fella, it's my privilege to be here. And it's been a privilege over the past 2 years, essentially, to be able to fight across party, across different divisions in Scotland, against this awful constitutional project. But it's tempting, it is tempting at the end of this process, or what seems like the end of this process, to either rest on our laurels or alternatively to rest back and to shrink from the next stage of the battle out of apathy, or to rely on some future project. But this will not do, because we owe our action in the next months and years to the people who rely upon the European Union for their livelihoods, who rely upon the European Union for their lives, and moreover for our friends, our lovers and our colleagues in Scotland who rely upon the European Union. And so our work, the work of my generation as we move up, starts tomorrow, because we labour under a government which is ready to shred democratic norms in the pursuit of some misguided constitutional project and of misguided economics as well. For we know that Boris Johnson has a weakness, and that weakness is us. His brand of populism has a short shelf life, as those whose economic chances and life prospects have been shortened by Brexit, have been limited by Brexit, will not let this happen again. He has alienated a generation. I can speak as a young fella. He has alienated our generation, but in doing so, he has invigorated our generation. For some time, or for some here, for some in Scotland, it may feel like this is the end of a long battle, and it may feel, as Lorna was saying, like a sad occasion. But no ideology, no matter how poisonous, succeeds for more than a generation. There is always hope, and that means that we must fight. So, as I come of age, as this new generation comes of age, as the torch is handed over to my generation, the battle has only just started. When they deliberate over the future of the EU citizens we love, we will be watching. When they meddle with backstops and borders, we will be watching. When they shape the future of universities and the Erasmus project, we shall be watching. And when they make cat-handed attempts at constitutional reform, we will be watching. Not only will we be watching, but we'll also be active. We've got active and we are organised. So as Boris takes his mini breaks in the Caribbean while the country goes to the dogs, we are organised. And so the message I feel from my generation is sleep well, Bojo, for we are awake. Thank you.
Well done, Stuart. They didn't make young people like that in my day, so another big round of applause, please. He's still in school, would you believe it? So well done, Dominic. I think the really important thing that we want to get across tonight, because there's a lot of TV cameras here, is to tell the rest of the world that no matter what happens down south, no matter what kind of jingoism is going on with Nigel Farage's party, up here, we're still European, aren't we? Yeah! Thanks very much. And you know what? We're going to be this European until we get back into the European Union very, very soon. So, I'm going to ask now for another speaker, another young lady this time.
Hi everyone, my name is Ailey, and I was that's all right, sorry. And I was second year politics student at Edinburgh University. Over the past year, I've been an activist with Our Future, Our Choice, which was the youth branch of the People's Vote campaign. In May last year, myself and a couple of others launched Our Future, Our Choice Scotland, which grew to become the largest youth anti-Brexit campaign group in the country. When last month's general election was announced, we decided that we would do everything that we could to show that Scotland rejects Brexit. And we did. 90% of Scotland's newly elected MPs belong to Remain parties. In my home constituency of Stirling, we kicked out the incumbent Tory Stephen Kerr, who sat with the infamous ERG group in Parliament. Stirling rejected Brexit, Scotland rejected Brexit, and Scotland still rejects Brexit today. I did not get a vote in the EU referendum. On the 23rd of June 2016, I was 15 years old. Yet the reality is, young people like me will be among the most adversely affected by the consequences of Brexit. Just look at the 2008 global financial crisis. Youth unemployment in the UK rose to 25%. Young people will be the first to be affected by an economic crisis that we did not vote for. As has been mentioned, in terms of opportunity, there are three things that matter to us. Firstly, jobs, both at home and across the EU. Secondly, the ability to study in well-funded universities and opportunities to study abroad. And thirdly, the opportunity to travel across the other 27 EU member states. The likes of Johnson, Farage, Rees-Mogg and Gove all had these opportunities, but they seem perfectly happy to deprive my generation off the back of a decision that we do not support. Since 2016, at least 2 million more young people like me have reached voting age. We are engaged, we are interested, and we will be the generation most severely affected by Brexit. For so many of us, this issue spans further than Britain's relationship with Europe. It's about the world we want to live in. Divisive figures like Johnson and Trump, who peddle narrow-minded nationalism, do not represent us. So this is not the end. This is about a wider movement and a wider issue. Please do not give up now. Use your voice, support the most vulnerable, and stand up for what you believe in. Because this is only the beginning. Thank you very much.
The world will be looking to cover this as an event with another edge, and the positive edge about this horrendous mistake that the UK is making is that Scotland is showing a different way. So, at 11, we are removing one of the 28 bowls that are currently floating on the pond over there, and we're moving the UK bowl over there. I will need all of your help. The spirit of Europe is in each of the countries, and each of the bowls holds a light. The light that is inside the UK bowl will be passed hand to hand to hand by you, back from there to over there, where the Scotland bowl is resting on the land tongue. And we're going to reignite the spirit of Scotland and bring it back. People power is going to bring it back to Scotland. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Thank you very much for coming. This is what I was really hoping for. This is how I wanted to spend this. Really not that nice night. This occasion is special. And I'm really grateful that everybody turned up to protect their parliament.
So, Elizabeth, what do you make of this evening's...
Well, it was worth coming. I wanted to come here to mark the sad occasion because I'm really gutted that we're leaving. I didn't want to leave. So, at least with everybody else here, didn't feel quite so bad. But, yeah, I'm a French citizen that came before we were in Europe. And then we were in Europe, now we're not anymore.
So how long have you lived here in Scotland?
Since August 72.
And did you have to fill in one of these wretched forms so that you could stay here?
I got married. I got married and got my citizenship. Before it cost a lot of money. And I'm still here. I came for a year originally and I'm still here. And I'm not leaving.
And you fell in love with a Scotsman?
Yes, of course, as you do.
Is that him?
Yes, it's him.
We better show you him too.
Hello.
So what do you make of it, sir?
Well, I thought it might be a quiet affair, but it's been very uplifting and it's been great. A lot of noise, a lot of singing. It's just exactly how it should be.
And lovely with the flame going round like that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I mean, it was just turned out to be a really good and memorable event, and yeah, I'm glad we came.
Scotland and
yes.
improve democracy.
It's the symbol of the Jacobites, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, 1688.
And the yellow roses are for the EU citizens here and in other countries. Yes, there you go. How are you? For you. It's not
not hope we need, it's action.
Niamh, you've been one of the people who've been responsible for organising all this lot tonight. How's it gone?
Fantastic. Here everyone is full of joy, hope, defiance. We're not going along. We're not cowing down to any Boris Johnson. That's not who Scotland is. We're serious, thoughtful people. We know what we want, we know what's right, and we know our rightful place as part of the European Union.
And give us a little advertisement for your organisation.
We're the European Movement in Scotland. We're a safe place for people from many different perspectives to come and talk about how Scotland regains its rightful place in the European Union.
And where can they find you?
You can find us on the internet. We're the European Movement in Scotland if you do a search there. But you'll also find lots of local groups all across Scotland, be it from Dumfries, Stirling, Murray, the Highlands, Edinburgh, Glasgow. Join us. Yes, we have hope, but even more than that, we're taking action.
Yeah, Bill. So,
Marshman Morningside, yes.
tell me what you think of the situation we're in now.
Can I see up the proverbial with a paddle? And no, Scotland's is dire. These charlatans, Boris Johnson, the whole shebang at Westminster are a bunch of absolute ignoramuses. To the point, well, I'll correct that. It would appear to be ignorant, but they know what they're doing. They're working for the few. They're working for the 4% who own, like 50% of the wealth of the country. And it's all about them. It's not about the poor people in Hartlepool and the north, the brick, the wall, as they call it, in northern England. These people will be shafted by them. In Scotland, we have people with independent minds. And the 45% who voted at the election, they have independent minds. We're clued up. We don't button up the back, to use a Glasgow phrase. But this is fantastic. I get the feeling here there's so many young people who aren't normally at independence gigs, and I'm so heartened by that. We're going to walk it when we get this referendum. And Boris Johnson and the rest of them know that. We are going to walk it. No matter what the BBC says or Sky says or anybody else, we are going to win this. I want to see it before I pass.
Oh, you've got to stick with us yet. We can't do without you, sir.
Yeah.
This lady here? What is this? What does it represent? Flame of hope, please. Yeah, please.
Home rule. 100 years later.